What's going on, Pookie? I hope you're enjoying your Friday afternoon. I originally had a different video planned for today, but my thumbnail guy thought he could take a 10-day vacation with his family. What a silly goose. So after I promptly fired him and got my goons to break every single bone in his body so that he can no longer walk again or pick up his children, I realized you guys still need a video for today. I have to feed your insatiable thirst for knowledge and information and learning masturbation. So I thought what a great topic would be is my predictions for dropshipping in 2025. Because I'm currently thinking about ways that I can be ahead of the curve and not be like everyone else. Because let's face it, what everyone else is doing, what the herd is doing in dropshipping is going to inevitably lead to failure. Because 99% of people that embark on this journey do fail. And they're all doing the same thing. They're ripping ads, they're believing in AI automation, they're watching top 10 products to sell videos. They're doing all of the things that they think are important, but they don't know what's important and they don't know what's valuable because they've never done this before. They don't know what actually has value. So that's why they keep watching the videos that get a lot of views, but really don't have any substance or value to them. Not like these videos which you're watching, and that's why this channel is never going to be big. But that's fine. You've picked the right channel where you actually are going to learn the tactics, the real know-how of what you should be doing to get success. So we're going to talk about websites, ads, product research, team building, everything that you need to be doing in 2025 to hit the ground running and see success. And this is what I'm going to be doing to scale new brands from 0 to 6 figures a month and taking my current brands that are doing 6 figures a month and scaling them to 7 figures. So what should you prioritize? Let's get into that. Because this is going to be my exact blueprint that you should copy and paste with your own stores. And the first most important thing that I've noticed among all the most successful dropshippers that get into this and get success immediately is the speed at which they operate. Speed is the number one variable among entrepreneurs that are successful no matter what business model they embark on. The people that know they have certain work to get done and they get their work done no matter if it's 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 9 p.m., or 2 a.m., the ones that have that drive, that urgency to get progress, that are not content with where they're at. They are pissed off, frankly, that they're not successful yet, and they take the right actions every single day, and they do it at a speed of urgency, are the ones that get results within a month or two. Because I have this philosophy that it usually takes about 100 to 200 hours of very deep work in dropshipping to be successful. So if you dedicate an hour a day to this, it's probably going to take you 4 to 7 months. And that's perfectly fine if that's the pace at which you want to go at. But for me, being the dog that I am, I got 2 wolves inside of me that are just barking to come out. They want to get results ASAP. I'm impatient. And that impatience usually leads to success if you channel it the right way in terms of putting it into taking the right actions that will generate you sales. So if you can dedicate, let's say 4 to 5 hours, which is very reasonable, you can get results in a month or two if you are focusing on the right things and have the right blueprint in front of you. So first, dedicate the right amount of time and be smart with how you allocate that time in terms of putting it into the things that actually grow your business, which is product research, website building, ad creatives, and media buying. Those are the only 4 things you need to work on. And then next is you need to get a blueprint that is proven to work. And that could be my blueprint with my one-on-one program. That could be someone else's blueprint who you trust more. It's just about trusting one person, sticking to their blueprint, getting those basics, getting those fundamentals. And then once you have that down and you feel comfortable because you've put in the reps, you've gotten the volume with trying that blueprint down to a T and focusing on the execution, then you can start learning bits and pieces from other people. But you don't want to be the person that learns from 5, 10 different voices all at once in the beginning because it's all going to be conflicting. I'm going to tell you to do media buying the correct way, the right way, but then someone else may convince you that there's another better way to do it. And the same thing with websites, the same thing with product research. You need to listen to one person, clear your mind, because if you're half-assing and trying all these different strategies from all these other people, none of them are going to work for you. And that's not the strategy's fault. That's your fault. And it's the same way with business. If you want to have your time split among 4 different businesses and you want to half-ass all these businesses and put 25% of your time to Forex, 25% of your time in dropshipping, 25% of your time in sales, 25% of your time in SMMA, inevitably, you're going to fail at all those. And you think that's the right strategy because, I'm just trying them out and seeing which one gets me success. None of them are going to get you success. None of them are going to build any momentum because they all require 100% focus. They all work, but if you half-ass them, then none of them will work. So put 100% of your time into dropshipping and 100% of your time into one blueprint and focus on putting in the reps. They don't have to be perfect reps. They just need to be reps. Because I always will see people spend a month emotionally invested on one product when the math will tell you that even when you do that, 10 to 20% of products are still going to be successful for you. And knowing that, Why would you spend a month on a product? The math doesn't make sense there. It doesn't compute. Error 404, 80083. If you know what that is on a calculator, comment down below. And it's just, you need to put in the reps every single week. Refining your skills, sharpening your sword. And you only sharpen your sword through putting in reps of testing products in a variety of different niches, of doing the research, of marketing, making ads, making websites. If you're only making one website a month, no shit, you're not going to get good at building websites because you're not putting enough volume. So if you do 1 to 2 a week where you're creating new product pages and you're building these templates and getting them flushed out and you're getting better at building the sections and the images and your offers, then by the time you have the right product in your hands, you'll be able to make it into a winner. But it doesn't mean you have to be perfect in the beginning. Now, when I was getting my websites to 80% back in the day, sure, that wasn't good enough. But nowadays, if I get even 70% done to my standard with a website, just because I know my templates are solid and I know what to do and I know the most important elements of my website are just my copywriting, my offer, my speed score, and my good social proof, I can get a website 70% of the way to my standard and it's still going to make sales. It's still going to be able to scale. So you want to raise your bar to where your floor is still good enough for a product to work, because in the beginning, there's a certain level of skills you have to develop in order to make a product a winner, and you're here. And then once you get to this level where at 100% effort, you can make a product a winner, that's a great spot to be. But you want to go beyond that, where when you only are 70, 80% of the way there, those skills are still good enough that with the right product and with the right offer that you've built, you can make that product work and get some validation enough to put more time into it. But that only comes through putting in the reps at a lightning speed, pushing yourself to test a product or 2 a week at a high quality level. Now, in terms of more tactical advice, outside of habits and discipline, we'll get into one more discipline thing before we get into more tactical. You need to be time blocking. I don't care what it is. Get the freaking journal already. I've told you a million times, get the finisher's journal. Get some journal where every single hour of your day, you can plan, from this hour to this hour, I'm doing product research. From this hour to this hour, I am editing ads. From this hour to this hour, I'm checking on my ads or I'm preparing a new product. You need to have every hour of your day accounted for. If you don't do that, you're going to lollygag, you're going to waste time, and it's going to take you 3 days to do something that should take you an hour in the same day. And I always notice that among my one-on-one students. The students that when I tell them, hey, here are the changes you need to make on your website, the ones that get that done the same day are always the successful ones that get to $1,000 a day within a month. The ones that take 3 to 4 days, that overthink it and take too much time and make excuses, never end up being successful. There is no program that is going to guarantee you success, that is going to make you 100% successful. You have to put in the work and you have to do it with speed. And usually that just comes through time blocking. It's Parkinson's law. The amount of time you allocate to a certain task is how much time it usually is going to take you. If you give yourself 3 days to make those changes, it's going to take you 3 days. If you give yourself 3 hours, it's going to take you 3 hours. Have some urgency. Now, in terms of, let's go one by one here, product research. What do I believe are going to be the new changes with product research in 2025? I believe it's going to be just doubling down on the tools that are available. I don't believe there's going to be any real new tools that shake up the game, because let's be honest, everyone's testing on Facebook and TikTok, so you just need to find the winners being tested on those platforms or find them on platforms before they get really advertised. Now, I believe for TikTok, PP ads is still the most powerful tool. It is getting saturated. The barrier to entry is lower due to all the ad spy tool discords and even my own Discord where you have access to it. And a lot of people are teaching the same filters. So I do believe that is going to come through you trying out new filters, trying out different countries, trying out different settings, doing ads for products that have only been around for 24 hours, doing ads for products that maybe have only been around a week and maybe haven't blown up yet, but you know based on the trends of previous winning products that this product can work as well. Having that eye that's developed through putting in your own tests of knowing, I've seen that when I test these types of products, it works usually very well for me. So let me try to find more products in that same vein. And I'll find them on TikTok through the product search function or the ad search function, or doing the other methods like Temu. I love Temu right now. I don't think enough people are using Temu. I think that is incredibly underrated. And because you're watching this channel that gets basically dick for views, that is still going to be a very, very underground way of finding products. Because you can go to those different niches, you can go to the bestseller sections, and you can see actual proven winners. And back in the day, AliExpress used to be the main way of going straight to the source. AliExpress's search functions are It's like caveman levels compared to Temu. It is so in the dark. It is Stone Age. Temu is so much further ahead. So while it's still available, even though the business economics for a business like Temu make absolutely zero sense because they're just burning through profits by giving products for free to people, it is still the best way to find products for free. There's so many great winners, so many new trends. And once you click on a few, they recommend you even better winners. You have to be using it. And then the final way that I'm really going to double down on in 2025 is the TikTok burner method, because it just gives you this new feed. Everyone's feed is going to be different. So you're going to get new products that no one else is getting recommended, that they can't find on these spy tools, because you only can find it through the TikTok burner method. Now, if you want a dedicated video to that, I am more than willing to do that. I have it in my 6 ways to find products for free video, which if you haven't checked out already, then what the hell are you doing with your life? Living under a rock? But it's in there, and I can make a fully dedicated video. I would love to. I am just here to serve you. I don't know why my phone's blowing up at the moment. I'm getting distracted. My ADHD is kicking in. But that's really everything that I see in terms of product research. Now, in terms of the website side of things, I believe where people are going to differentiate, and this is going to be a big point of differentiation when you are testing a product, is those that offer unique offers. The ones that can differentiate their offer and look at what's currently working on the market for a certain product and think, how do I just get one level above that? How do I think of something that's a little bit more enticing, whether that's doing BOGO, buy one, get 2 free, buy one and get a free gift, volume discount, low upfront, plus high shipping. There's so many different offer structures, and the first price you set for a product is never going to be the right price. Get that through your thick monkey skull right now. Your first version of your product page, your first offer is never going to be the best version. It's going to be usually the worst version. So if you can get your worst version to work when you test a product and you're making sales, then la-di-da, double down, think of your next split test. Actually be split testing, because people are not doing that right now, guys. I'm hopping on these one-on-one calls with my new students. I am talking to people. No one is split testing. Nobody. It makes zero sense. You are just leaving money on the table. I've countless videos that show how important it is to split test, because you have one version of your product page that makes 50 cents a visitor and then another that makes $2 a visitor just because you change one variable, your offer, your copywriting, your reviews. It makes just absolutely no sense to not be doing it. The only reason why people don't do it, though, is because they're not aware that it's a thing and they think it's too complicated to do it. It's not. Download A/B Convert off the Shopify App Store, create 2 versions of your product page where you split test 2 different variables. Usually the highest priority stuff is the things higher in your product page, aka your product images, your offer, your bullet point benefits, your images, blah, blah, blah. Split test those first. Get the right offer structure. Try out all of the offer structures to find out what works. Volume discount, then BOGO, then low upfront plus high shipping. Figure out first what works in terms of the offer structures. Then you go a step further and figure out what's the right price point for that offer structure. Because you might do buy one, get one at 25, but then try buy one, get one at 29, at 34. Increase your price, decrease your price. See what that does to your conversion rate. See what that does to your AOV. And then you'll find that equilibrium, that perfect sweet spot in which your price is perfect. But you don't get there through just throwing one offer, one price, and then keeping it that way till the end of time like every other dropshipper who fails. Split test, my friend. Next most important thing, your speed score. Not enough people talk about that. You need to have a fast loading product page. You can use an app called Flash Page Speed Optimization on the Shopify App Store, and it'll do all the work for you. It'll optimize all your images. It will lazy load your website, and you'll be golden. You can also hire someone on Fiverr who optimizes your page. And basically, they all do the same thing. They just get rid of dead code. They know how to also optimize images. That's all they do, and you'll be golden. Cost $50. Then you're solid. Next things, when it comes to apps, LEI Reviews is the best review app for me. You can import from Amazon. You can edit the reviews after you import them. There's no other app that offers that. It is by far the best one. When it comes to other things that I need to have, I need a currency converter. I use Bucks. It's completely free. I need a sticky add to cart. Shrine has it in their theme. I also have Zorix. You need to have that. When it comes to offer structures, actually building those BOGO deals and those volume discount deals. I love Kaching. Kaching is great for volume discount. Bundle Bear is great for free gifts. That's all you need. That's really it. There's other apps that are nice, like Klaviyo. When you are scaling a product and want to hire an email marketing agency, which I would recommend doing. That's something you should outsource because you're not going to have the skills to really build the flows and do all that on your own. Just outsource it. So much faster, better results as well. But those are really all the apps I'd say that are necessary. I don't think there's going to be any new apps that really change the game. Those are the core fundamental things on your website. It's about having a good offer, good copywriting, great social proof, and fast loading. You prioritize those 4 things, and it doesn't matter if you're using a one product store or a niche store or a general store. None of that shit matters. I could test a product in a one product store and test a product in a general store. And just because you have a one product store, it may increase the chances of success with a product by 5 to 10%. It's so negligible that it's not worth the extra hassle of creating a new logo, a new business name, a new domain, color scheme, all that. It's not going to change things. Having a fancy logo is not going to be the difference between you having a winning product and having a losing product. Sorry to burst your bubble there. But having great copywriting, having a great offer, having the right social proof that handles objections will make the difference. If you look at the store right now that I've scaled to 170 grand a month, the website looks worse design-wise than 99% of dropshipping stores. You're probably building a better looking website, but mine converts better because better looking does not equal better converting. And that's what a lot of beginners make that mistake. A lot of even experienced entrepreneurs, they want everything to look nice, look pretty. Pretty does not convert. Ugly and focusing on the right conversion elements converts. That is it. Keep it simple. Give me a sec. I got to get my water. How refreshing. The crisp taste of Dasani water. What do you expect? I mean, you try talking for 30 minutes straight to a camera. Jeez Louise. You guys are quite the critics. I want to take a little pause before we get into ad creatives and media buying and building a team. Those are the final points I want to really cover. Because I went on a date yesterday. A little tea. I want to spill the tea with my girlies. Ah! All right, Pookie. So I've been trying to be a little bit more social and going out because when I was 18 to 22, I was a fucking loser and I dedicated all my life to dropshipping. And sure, that's great. I made money. I'm also jacked and I'm 6'4", not poor. That's great and all. I got my life together so that when I enter the dating market, I have a lot to offer. That's great. But you actually have to learn how to talk to women to get women. That's something I did not know. I know, crazy, right? It turns out that a guy who knows how to talk to women and is a loser versus a guy who doesn't know how to talk to women but has their life together usually will still win. You can be the loser, but if you know how to talk to women, that really is a skill. So I'm trying to go out more. And on Tuesday, I went to this line dancing place by myself because my boy was being a pussy. He was saying like, "Oh, I'm sick." And I was like, damn, I didn't know it smelled like bitch in here. I didn't know it was bitch o'clock. Jesus. I apologize if that word offends you, but I'm just, hey, locker room talk. What can I say? So I went to this line dancing place. And if you go to a line dancing place on a Tuesday, then you really like line dancing. Like you are a veteran, you know the dances. But I was there and I really don't know many. I learned 2 last week. I'm going to learn 2 today. Today's Friday. Friday, I always go out to line dancing. And I honestly wasn't even big into line dancing. Like everyone else that got into line dancing, I was dragged into it by my hands and knees. I was tied up, mouth duct taped. I didn't want to do it. But then eventually over time, I got a little acclimated, started to like it. It grows on you. And what I realized, so when I went there, I talked to this one girl, beautiful, thick, my exact type. Not like thick, but like she got a booty. She got some honkers. Beautiful face too. Probably should have started with face because she's got a really nice face. But yeah, got her number, which for me is progress. Oh, bro, I'm terrible talking to new people. Just like starting a conversation with a random person on your own. But when you go out solo, it kind of forces you to. So I did, got her number. We went out last night, went to an Italian place, very fancy. Went to a place I already had been to a few times. They know your boy Papa E. He tips heavy. He's got the heavy hands. Got my usual, had a good conversation. Everything was good. We're vibing. We go back to my car. And usually that's where the action happens when we go back to my car. Like I got moves. Play my R&B playlist and game is on. But she thwarted my plans. She could sense something was awry. So she said, "Ethan, be a gentleman and walk me to my car." And I was like, okay, damn. So we walked to her car. We're sitting in there. We're just talking about a bunch of random topics like how do snakes have sex, which I still haven't figured out because they have eggs, but how do they fertilize those eggs? I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you know. And I asked her if she had a playlist that she uses when she makes out with guys or has sex. And she's like, "No, I don't. I just get into it." And I was like, ugh, what a virgin. And then I said, "Well, then like play something." And she's like, "I can play some country music." And I was like, perfect. That's the perfect music. And before we end the date, I'm like, there's one thing I want to find out before we end this date. And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I want to find out if you're a good kisser." So I lean in, we start kissing, making out. And I'm just listening to this country music in the background. And it is the most It is the worst music to listen to while making out by far. Like, you're trying to make out with this girl, get into it, and you just hear pickup truck and Jack Daniels bourbon, and my heart got broken by my ex-wife. Like, it's just the worst, most unromantic music to make out to. It was so funny. Like, I would be kissing this girl and I would have to like stop because I was laughing. It was just but it was funny. It was a good time. And then she made a really good joke at the end, and then we'll get back to the video. Because I was in the passenger seat, I was being a passenger princess. And she was like, okay, when we're done, she grabs me by my thigh, which is my move, and then says, all right, princess, let me drive you back to your car. And I was like, damn, I have never felt so demasculated in my life. She's got jokes. She's going to talk shit. I like that. I like a girl who can talk shit. So, good date. Had a fun time. All right, so let's get back into it. So with ad creatives, what am I noticing for 2025? I'm noticing that the people that can speak the best and can basically think outside the box with their concepts and their hooks and their messaging are the ones that will always win. Because let's face it, no matter what product you sell, there's going to be other people selling it too. So you have to find a way just to be one level above them. And that can be through having a more specific hook, through having messaging that's more specific to that target audience. Because let's face it, people buy from people. They want to buy from brands that are relatable to them, that know them inside and out, because they won't give you permission to their wallet until you really convince them that you understand their trials and tribulations and what they're going through. So what I'm seeing working the best in terms of ad creatives is usually having one creator. It's a very unedited video where they talk about their own experience with having the problem, trying other products that didn't work for them, and then using your product that ended up being that be-all solution that did it for them. That is what's working the best. One creator that's talking to their phone like it's a FaceTime call with their friend, because it's super relatable. Because people don't buy from brands. They buy from people, from creators, from real faces. So that is what's currently working the best. So I would say it is higher priority for you to find clips like that than to make your own scripts and make your own ads. High quality clips by far are more valuable, of creators talking to the camera about the actual experience of using your product. Now, if you can't find those clips, the second style of ad that is working very well is doing your research, reading those comments, reading those reviews on Amazon, reading those reviews from competitors, reading comments online, gathering those talking points, gathering those problems, and saying and articulating your script in the way that your audience would, so you can be as relatable to them as possible. Speak their language. And by doing that, and then just finding visuals online of the specific lines in your script, that is another great way to craft ads that work even better than your competitors, because you differentiate through doing your own research. Now, can you use AI to kind of automate that a little bit? Yes. You can use ChatGPT, have specific questions you ask, plug in 10, 15, 20 reviews, and it can summarize a lot of the main benefits. Here's your target audience, etc. But it's not going to do all the heavy lifting for you. You have to be able to do your own research on your own, come to your own conclusions, then use ChatGPT as a way to, I'd say, proofread or double down on the fact that you've done the right research. You want to make sure the ideas that you got and the ideas that ChatGPT got align. So that way you know you're on the right track. And sometimes ChatGPT will have one or two ideas where you're like, oh, that is interesting. I never thought about that. And that is what you need to do. The one who can do the best research, that can really understand their audience and put yourself in their shoes the best, is going to come up with the most relatable ads. And the most relatable ads that talk directly to the pain points and the benefits that your target audience really wants are the ones that are going to win. Because I see kind of frequently when I review ads from beginners, they will have these problems where I'm like, okay, is that really the number one problem though? Or is that just a problem that you think they have? The big mistake is you assume what your target audience actually wants. Never assume what you think your target audience has in terms of problems or benefits that matter to them. Always just do the research and then reverse engineer it. And I'll see benefits in these ads where I'm like, sure, that's technically a benefit, but does your audience actually care about that? What's in it for me is the number one thing on the mind of all your customers. We're egocentric. We only care about me, 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 and me. So when we are reading every line in your description or watching every clip in your ad, the only thing we're asking to ourselves is, how does that apply to me? How does that apply to my situation? Is that useful in my life to have that benefit? And you only can know what those benefits that actually matter to those people, or the most people, when you do the research. Now, you can also differentiate in terms of who you market to, instead of what you say in your ads. Because if you know a product's being pretty saturated in the US, then okay, let's take that product, market it to Europe. But there's complexities to that. Let's say, for instance, someone's selling a product and they're only marketing it to young females in US. Then okay, yes, there are young females in Europe. Market it to them instead because they haven't seen that product or that messaging. You can keep the same messaging, keep the same product, keep the same concepts, but you change the audience in which who sees it. But then there's also demographics. So if a product's only being marketed to young females, what if it also applies to older females? Then okay, we can still market to US and the main big four, but we just market to a different demographic, a different subset of the audience. And then that's how we make our money. So there's two different ways, either new location or new demographic. Hopefully you understand that. And you can have specific ads that speak to different audiences. For instance, I had a student selling barefoot shoes. Barefoot shoes can apply to climbers. It can apply to people that like to hike. It can apply to people that have foot pain, people that have wider feet. And you'll have ads that speak directly to each one of those audiences to find out which pocket, which audience segment is the most profitable for you. Because certain audience segments are going to be more saturated and more tapped and aren't going to be as receptive to your product as other ones that haven't really been marketed to in that way. But you can only find out by doing the research and then split testing. It always comes down to split testing with your website and your ads. Now, outside of that, media buying. I believe in terms of media buying, the big trends are going to be just keep things simple, stupid. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. I used to be a big believer in CBOs until I did the research and I reviewed about 20 to 30 different ad accounts very recently, and I realized Facebook can be wrong with the way it optimizes CBOs. If you're using CBO initially when testing, things can go wrong. I could test 10 ads, and what CBOs will do is it will spend usually the majority of your budget on 1 to 2 ads. And then it makes you think that the other 8 ads that didn't get any spend are bad. But that's not necessarily the case. So I had some instances where we would take those 8 ads that got no spend, we would put them into their own campaign, guarantee spend by using an ABO, and those ads a lot of times would outperform the ads that Facebook originally chose. Which makes you think, oh my God, Facebook is not right 100% of the time. Which, yeah, how could it be? So the best way to test is to realize that creatives are everything. The media buying strategy doesn't matter. It's all about creatives, because bad creatives will not be carried by a good media buying strategy. But a bad media buying strategy can be carried if you have good creatives. It's all about creatives, and then figuring out a way to let those creatives thrive. So I believe the best way to test is ABO, $20 a day per ad group, 3 to 4 creatives in each ad group that are unique, and then let it spend for a few days. Scale the creatives that have 3 purchases that are profitable or more, and that's all you have to do. Your whole name of the game with media buying is identify winning creatives and then put more money into them. Now, how do you put more money into them? Well, in that original campaign, that's $20 a day per ad group, bump up the budget by 20%. I never will bump up budgets more than 20% on something that's active. Now, when I start a new scaling campaign, that's where you can do the aggressive budget increases. Meaning, an example would be, let's say I test a product and one creative is doing really well. Cool. On that ad group where it's spending $20 a day, let's bump up the budget 20% to $25 a day. Awesome. But that's not too big of an increase. But what I can do is isolate that creative, create a new scaling campaign, which is a CBO, 3 ad groups, broad, that are identical, and they all just have that one winning creative, and we start that at $100 a day. And if that campaign works, awesome. Increase the budget by 20% to $120 the next day. That's a decent amount. But then the next thing you can do is, once you've proven that the ad can work at $100 a day, let's create a new CBO. But this time the starting budget is $300 a day or $500 a day. Or we create 3 new CBOs at $200 a day and let those all run with the same setup of 3 ad groups and 1 creative inside, and see if we can identify more winning campaigns, more winning audience pockets. That is how you scale aggressively and get to $1,000 a day, $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day. That's all you need to do. Identify winning creative, create new scaling CBOs, increase the budget on the current campaigns, rinse and repeat. That is literally it. That is all the media buying strategy you need. Don't pay for someone's media buying strategy. Don't let someone convince you they have some magical pill with their media buying strategy. That is all that they are doing. They have good creatives and they just know how to scale. And they are aggressive when they have something that works in scaling it. They're not pussies. They don't just 20% budget increases. Oh, we're increasing the budget by $10 today. Oh, geez. Let's hold on for the ride. No. When you have something that works, double down, grow a pair, and scale. That is it. I feel like my lips are getting very dry. I've been talking for a lot. Final things. Let's talk about team building. I'm going to do a challenge if you guys are interested to go from 0 to 100K with a brand new dropshipping store. And the pillars of doing that is going to be me building a team, because I tried to do it in the past, but I didn't have the time. So if you're someone that has a 9 to 5 where you know you can only dedicate an hour or 2 a day, and you know that's going to take you 6-7 months to get results, then start building a team. But that only happens once you develop the skills, because you won't be able to manage a team if you don't know if they're doing a good job, because You need to have the skills and the experience and the reference points to be able to identify, oh, this is what a good website looks like. Oh, this is what a good ad looks like. Oh, this is what good customer service looks like. Because if you can't identify that, and if you don't know what that looks like, then you won't be able to manage your team and know if they're doing a good job. So first, yes, you do need to learn the skills, and I'm at the point where I have learned the skills. So all I need to do is hire the right team. And all I really need is just one product researcher, one website guy, one copywriter that'll write the descriptions and the scripts to my ads, and then one editor that will put those ads together. That is it. Very small, very fast, and that can get me 2 to 3 product tests a week. And if I test 2 to 3 products a week at a high enough quality level, I'm going to get a winner within a month to 2 max. That is all I need to do. You create the SOPs, you create the systems, you are the one monitoring that team and making sure they're executing at a high enough level, and then you're improving each product, and you're going to have a winner. It's all about delegation when you get to this level. The way I'm scaling and having multiple brands that I can start is I just know how to delegate. That 6-figure a month brand that I'm currently running, I spend maybe an hour a day on, 30 minutes a day usually actually, because I only handle the media buying and I handle some of the creative work, but everything else, I have agencies. I have team members that are handling the customer support. I have team members handling the order fulfillment. I have team members handling the email marketing. I have team members handling the CRO and the product page split test. I don't have to worry about that because your time should be focused on the most high priority tasks in your business. Now, high priority tasks are product research and building websites and creating ads and media buying. But then it gets a layer deeper where what are the true 1 to 2 highest priority tasks? And that's always creatives and media buying. Those 2 things. Now, can you outsource that? Yes. And I would recommend building a creative team, for having creators on your team that you can constantly be working with, having editors, having your creative strategists that write out the scripts. Of course, do that. But you need to be monitoring that. In the beginning, you should be doing it on your own because you understand your business and the marketing that works better than anyone else that's going to be hired. So you train them, you tell them what works, you tell them what they need to be doing, how they need to be making variations of your winning ads, how they need to be trying new hooks that are outside the box, trying new concepts to keep this product working. Because at the end of the day, the person that has the best creatives are always going to be the ones that win. When I look at any product that's quote unquote saturated but is still being scaled, it is mainly because that brand is executing their ads better than everyone else. They have better creators, they have better scripts, they have better visuals. It is literally just that. That is all it is. So, I hope that covers everything that you're really going to need to know in 2025, and that's going to be the things that I prioritize and focus on my own end. If you have any comments or ideas for other videos or other thoughts that you would like me to talk about dropshipping, please let me know. And I hope you all have a terrific weekend. I hope you have fun with your friends, your family, and you're also prioritizing your business at the same time. But realize you're never going to be young this forever. You should be enjoying your life. You should be going out a little bit more, having some fun, but also realizing that if you're not where you want to be in your life, then you have to make the sacrifices and you need to be prioritizing the right things.